Hey guys, it's Charlie. I want to talk a little bit about Mr. Doing God's Work himself, Lloyd Blankfein, CEO of Goldman Sachs. But first, I kind of want to talk a little bit about some of the other news going on. You know, the ADP report's going to come out tomorrow, and it's going to say that 22,000 jobs were lost in the month of January. The unemployment's going to hold at 10%. And the government's number will come out, I think, Friday, and it'll probably show, we created jobs. Who knows? But the fact is that it's all propaganda. It's all at this point, the toothpaste is out of the tube. I think a growing number of people are realizing that it's not coming back. It's not coming back because Wall Street was made healthy like we were promised. That's what we were told in the dot-com bubble, is once Wall Street's healthy, Main Street will follow suit, and that unemployment is a lagging indicator. And we didn't need employment. We could have a recovery without employment then, because every person on the planet, or in the United States, received credit cards in the mail. They didn't receive increase in pay. They just received easy, free credit. So they could live on fantasy equity in their homes. And every other year turn it over, refinance, pay off their credit cards, and then do it all again. And the party lasted as long as the Federal Reserve kept zero interest rate policies. But in 2008, it is absolute game over. It ended on that day. And when the stock market crashed in 2008, the credit crisis started in full earnest, and it's game over. Okay, everything that's going on now. Everything going on with our government, all these statistics being put out, being manipulated and then put out, it's papering over the absolute bottomless pit that our nation has created. Mainly, depending who you talk to, some people want to blame your neighbors for taking out loans they couldn't afford. I dismiss that out of hand. Okay, your neighbor that goes to work driving a truck, or that is maybe even an accountant, or a lawyer, or whatever, a professional, when he is being bombarded with advertisement that says keep up with the Joneses, get easy credit, you value your home's never going to go down. If you hear that over and over and over again, this pop culture mentality that is pervasive in this country, of course you're going to think that that home values will never go down. Of course you go to work and you make $50,000 a year, but you think you're making $70,000 a year on your $200,000 house, because you have people like Ben Bernanke coming on television and saying, "What recession? Home values have never fallen nationwide in this country." Everybody bought into the big lie. Everybody believed the people in charge of our government. Believe the Barney Franks and the Dodds and the Pelosi's and the Obamas and the Bush and the whoever. You name it. These criminals, these people who are no more looking out for your best interests than is Lloyd Blankfein looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for themselves. And a politician, a modern era politician, absolutely will not do the tough things that this nation needs in order to rectify itself. It's not going to happen. They can get money for nothing. They can go to the Treasury and say, print it. They can go to the Federal Reserve and say, keep the interest rates at zero. It's all a shell game. It's all a Ponzi scheme. But the game's running out. In 2008, it came apart. In the last year, unbelievable, extraordinary measures have been taken to paper it over. Your president's coming on television telling you it's over because, it's fixed because the banks have paid back all their TARP money. Well, here's a fact. If the banks paid back 100% of the TARP money allocated, all of it, with interest, it actually amounts to 2% of the money spent or committed in the bailouts. 2%. So when the president tells you that they're paying it back, the American taxpayers are making money, it's a lie. 2%. 98% of what's committed or spent, we're never getting back. It's in a black hole, in a bottomless pit. It's not coming back. This was all done so that criminals on Wall Street that created the problems that we have can be made whole.
so they can get theirs before the game truly falls apart. And this nation has to be led into war to get us out of it. To that end, I'm going to talk about AIG's bonuses announced today. $100 million. Now, please think back with me to last March. You know, do you remember the outrage of the politicians in Washington? They wanted the heads of AIG's executives on a pike. They wanted to give out their addresses because of these $160 million in bonuses, okay? Big outrage, big uproar. What happened? The House of Representatives, led by Nancy Pelosi, passed an illegal piece of legislation that said they were going to tax 90% or whatever of the bonuses. It died in the Senate. Why? Because it was illegal and the outrage was over. The point was made. They're looking out for your best interests. The House of Representatives absolutely knew it wasn't going nowhere. The people at AIG knew they were getting their money. The Senate knew they were going to kill that piece of legislation. Well, it's really funny how our government likes to use law when it benefits the ultra elite. My point is this. When AIG says they need their $100 million bonus this year, after one full complete year of being 80% owned by you and I, to the tune of $180 billion, not paid back, $180 billion AIG took in bailouts. We own 80% of it. I'm repeating that because I want to make sure you understand. This is our company. You own it, I own it. $100 billion in bonus for the crack staff at this company. Now, the spokesmen come out today for the administration and say, we got to pay this because it was in their contracts. Now, how come it doesn't work for the people of Chrysler that held bonds? Why? Because they're not on the government dole. They're not helping out the politicians. If they want to use the law, if they want to use the letter of the law or the Constitution, then demand that we get all that money back. We suspend the other 98% of the bailouts that are occurring in this country right now. End it. Stop giving out this money because it's unconstitutional. The government does not have the power to do this. It's not given to them by the Constitution. But that's not going to happen. Why? Well, because people like Lloyd Blankfein, the hero, the saint, doing God's work, working for $1 in 2008. What a champion of the American people. What a pillar of industry. All right? This man in 2007, no bailouts given, but he was real busy creating things like exotic investment instruments, you know, while he's selling these exotic instruments to his clients and then betting against them on the other side. Yet, he didn't receive any bailout money in 2007, so I don't really care that he received $67 million in bonus. However, I do care that in 2009, after his company, which would be out of business if it wasn't for the U.S. taxpayer, you know, he's going to receive, according to Lloyd's of London, $100 million in bonuses for last year. $100 million to Lloyd Blankfein is the alleged bonus. How is this possible? How can our president go before you in a State of the Union a week ago, tonight, and say, I'm going after these evil, greedy bankers? Say one thing, do another. That's not just Obama, all of them. Say one thing, do another. Be the populist, because they've got most of this country trained to believe the first three words that comes out of their mouth, and then they don't follow up on it. The American people don't follow up and look at the facts. Well, the facts are this. They're not going after the bankers. The bankers are coming after you. They're not creating jobs. They're destroying jobs. They know the game is over, and the Wall Street criminals are going to get paid first, foremost, up front, while you sit there and you wait for the end to come. Because you know what? That's what's happening. Game over. That's all I got.